So we're actually going to go ahead and get started with that announcement from Ice Cube. So for those who don't know, Ice Cube isn't just a rapper. He isn't just an actor. He isn't just a businessman. Ice Cube also started this alternative basketball league called the Big Three. This is like an alternative to the NBA. I actually think the format is better because it's less games, less weeks, and the Big Three takes place during the NBA offseason. So he doesn't have to worry about competing with them in reference for airtime. But he's had a lot of difficulties. He's had difficulties from the DOJ in reference to the Big Three. I know if you can believe it or not, but the Department of Justice actually was trying to push against Ice Cube for having this league. He also has had pushback and suppression from mainstream media networks as well that did not want to feature Big Three games because they have a contract with the NBA. And it has gotten to the point now that the Big Three has become so popular that I guess the NBA kind of sees them as competition. So it is what it is. And I've always said before, if you can't beat them, instead of joining them, which people usually say, start your own damn thing. And so that's what he did. But that's not the announcement. Ice Cube decided to make an offer to a woman for the Big Three, an offer of $5 million. People are losing it on social media. I don't even think this was supposed to be announced. As soon as it was, we'll show Ice Cube's tweet, which basically explains this was not supposed to get out yet, but it's out and it's in the open. He was recently just on ESPN on the Pat McAfee show, talking about this as well. The fact that he's offering $5 million to a woman to join the Big Three. This is freaking huge because you have to understand, basketball players in the WNBA don't receive that type of salary, okay? They're not offered millions. We'll get into that. But he's offering this to Caitlin Clark. Let's get into this.
The biggest star left in March Madness has a $5 million offer on the table. And I mean March Madness, men's or women's tournament, that biggest star is Caitlin Clark, and she has a $5 million offer on the table to play in Ice Cube's Big Three basketball league. Now, if you don't know the Big Three, his league is basically made up of like retired NBA players. The games are 3-on-3. The floor is spaced out. It's a low-paced game. Honestly, she would dominate these. And even if she were to take the deal, she could still play in the WNBA afterwards. So it would almost just be a little summer side quest to go get a bag. The Big Three would like it because I'm sure their ratings would soar. Now, it's probably not going to happen, but if it were to happen, how do you think Caitlin Clark would do in that league? The biggest star left in March Madness has a $5 million offer on the table. And I mean March.
Let's pause here for just a second. And I want to get to the statement from Ice Cube. First of all, let me explain to you who Caitlin Clark is, because there's already some naysayers. Some people are not happy about this. We'll get into that. Caitlin Clark, arguably at this point in time, is probably the best player in women's collegiate basketball today. She is the best of the best. And there's just no denying that. I'm just keeping it real. The stats do not lie. She's actually participating in March Madness right now, but she's still in college and he is offering this to her. She has not accepted yet, but he is extending that offer. So that information actually was not supposed to get out. And that is revealed here from Ice Cube. He said, we intended the offer to remain private while Caitlin Clark plays for the championship. But I won't deny what's now already out there. Big Three made a historic offer to Caitlin Clark. Why wouldn't we? Caitlin is a generational athlete who can achieve tremendous success in the Big Three. So you'll see here, it was actually TMZ who leaked that. I told you TMZ is everywhere, okay? He goes on to say, the skeptics laughed when we made Nancy Lieberman the first female coach of a men's pro team, and she won the championship in her first year. Then Lisa Leslie won it all in year 2. With our offer, Caitlin Clark can make history and break down even more barriers for women athletes. American women athletes shouldn't be forced to spend their off seasons playing in often dismal and dubious foreign countries just to make ends meet. Now, I don't know if I would have called those countries dismal and dubious. I don't know if I would have taken it there, Ice Cube. But I get the point that he's making. And he ends with this, and they should have more than just one professional option in the United States at a time when American pro sports leagues are being infiltrated by autocratic, anti-women regimes such as Qatar. Our path-breaking offer to Caitlin Clark demonstrates that Big Three now offers another choice for athletes. So some people are hating on this because they're saying, out of all the people, why did you pick her? Why didn't you offer this to someone else? And like I said before, she is the best player right now that's out there in collegiate basketball and women's collegiate basketball. I'm just going to keep it real to you guys. Ain't no shame in my game. I played basketball. I'm just going to be honest with you about that. So there's that. And then some people are also upset because they feel like this is going to take away from the WNBA. That's actually not the case. Caitlin can still play in the WNBA if she decides. Again, these seasons happen at different times. The Big Three, it's 8 weeks, 10 weeks if you make it to the playoffs. So she can still actually do both. Now, speaking of the WNBA, because I want to show you the difference in reference to salary here. I want to show you who is the highest paid WNBA player in 2024. So I want to show you just how much they make and just how much has been offered to Caitlin. So this is Sabrina. Sabrina plays for, not me. Not me. Sabrina is the highest paid WNBA player in 2024. Listen to this, folks. The world of women's professional basketball has seen a significant rise in recognition and compensation of its athletes, with several notable players securing lucrative contracts. Let's see this contract. So Sabrina, I think it's Onoscu, her contract and earnings. Sabrina, a prominent figure in women's basketball, has clinched the title of the highest paid WNBA player in 2024. Her 2-year contract, 2 years, is valued at an impressive $410,000. So the highest paid woman in the WNBA, the highest paid player, is making over $400,000. That's it. That's it. And if you'll notice here, it says with an annual salary of $205,000. So she's getting $205,000 each year. It's a 2-year contract over $410,000. So do you see why Ice Cube offering Caitlin Clark $5 million is such a big deal? These women don't get this type of offer in the WNBA. They just don't. So I don't understand why people are mad, but people are mad. Oh, people coming all out of the woodwork. Lexi Brown. WNBA player Lexi Brown has a few words for Ice Cube after he offered college basketball star Caitlin Clark $5 million to play in his Big Three league as a side job when she goes to the WNBA. So this is the statement here from Lexi Brown. She said, no other women's basketball player has come to mind in the last 7 years. So I guess Lexi is basically saying herself. Lexi is like, you didn't think about me in the past 7 years. Like, it's just weird. Like, Lexi, stop. Just stop. Stop. Don't go there. Congratulate. Don't hate. I can't believe this is happening, right? So she was actually on Gilbert Arenas' show talking about this. Yeah, she's not too happy about it. So let me dive in here. Lexi is in some feelings.
If you open the article and you see what he said was his reasoning, he wanted to provide more opportunities for WNBA players and provide opportunities to not go overseas. So you offered the contract to a player who's not yet even in the WNBA. Big Three does not happen during overseas season. So that doesn't make sense.
That's true.
And then you pretty much offended all of the European countries that open their doors to us. give us a lot of money, a lot of love, and a lot of experience by.
Yeah. So I will say again, like I said earlier, I don't agree with the comment that he made about the foreign countries, calling them dismal and dubious. I don't agree with that.
Calling them dismal and dubious. And there are some very beautiful countries that we have the opportunity to go play in. So, I mean, if you're going to say that it's for that, then stand on that. But I don't think I think he's trying to make a business decision, which he's a businessman. That makes sense. But to mask it in this, I want to uplift and support WNBA players and women athletes is kind of a cop-out, I think. And I don't think it really makes any sense.
So Lexi is not happy about it. Look, I'm just going to say this. I think it's great that those other countries have given you opportunities over the years, but the reality is they weren't paying you what you were worth. I'm just going to keep it real. He is offering $5 million to this woman. Like, to me, it's just, I don't understand the hate over this. Do you want to continue having players go into the WNBA and making less than what they should? I just told you what the highest paid player in the WNBA is making right now, over $400,000. That's nothing. That's nothing compared to what the men are making. So look, come on now. Come on. Come on, Lexi. I have a beef with this because for me, I do kind of feel like the number of times I've heard people complain that women are not being paid more, that we're not given those opportunities. And now here's someone who's trying to pay more and give women those opportunities. And then people want to hate. I ain't got time for it. I ain't got time. So this guy here actually responded to the video with Lexi. He said, Lexi is really missing the mark. This is from Fella. Lexi is really missing the mark on this. 1, WNBA players equal women hoopers in general. 2, they the ones who complain about having to go overseas and leave their families to earn more money. 3, this is consistent with Cube hiring Lisa Leslie and female head coaches. And I agree. I listened to Ice Cube this morning. He was on Pat McCaffrey's show. I can't show the clip because it's on ESPN and ESPN has copyright, so I can't show it to you on here. But in that interview, Ice Cube said he always wanted to work with the WNBA at some point. This was always a part of the plan. So it's not like he's not trying to take anything away from the WNBA. You can do both. I don't understand this. Sometimes I think we're so used to being disappointed that we don't know how to accept it when we get a win. And that's just kind of how I look at it. Arguably, you have to look at the stats, and I'm basing it on the numbers. Based on the numbers alone, Caitlin Clark is the best player right now in women's collegiate basketball. She's playing right now in the playoffs. So it just, I don't get it. And women, we got to talk about this. We got to stop hating on each other like this, man. Why can't we just be happy for each other? Why does this happen? I don't understand it. I don't get it at all. But I will say this to Caitlin Clark. It's an excellent offer. I think you should pursue it, but I also think you should still negotiate. Because this is a problem that I think a lot of us women don't often do. It's a problem. We're less likely to negotiate salary, regardless of the position, regardless of the career path. So it's great that he offered you $5 million, but I think you should still negotiate. That's just me.